The eyes are the window to the soul. Then what do people see when they look at me? What does the soul really look like? What quality does it have? If my eyes are indicative of my soul, then there's not much that makes my soul different from my father's or my sister's. Our eyes are all blue, kind of gray in some lighting situations, but still blue. But I don't have my father's soul and I don't have my sister's. None of us are exactly alike, even though our windows may be tinted the same shade of blue. Thinking about something like the soul really isn't a sacred experience for me, not anymore. There was once a time when it was, when a previous version of myself sat in church pews in school, tiny little windows staring up at the cross, the priest, and the altar, belting out hymns that my mother knew by heart and always wanted me to sing. At that same time, there was a part of me that began to wander outside of that bubble. High school was really when dots of color began to trickle into what I had known. Putting a bunch of supposedly religious children into a high school during puberty and expecting them to all come out the same way they came in was kind of ludicrous. I was no different. My soul came out a jumbled mess, a combination of emotions and feelings I didn't quite have the words to describe to anyone. If you had stared in my soul's window then, you would have seen a kaleidoscope, a bunch of colors and shapes that I refused to truly acknowledge, because I thought it was all wrong. I tried looking inside the kaleidoscope a few times. Early college years were spent trying to make sense of these waves of emotion I was feeling. The urges, the exhaustion, all of it resulting in me bottling it back up again and saving it for the next gazing session. If I tried showing it to my family, I couldn't describe it. I still can't, exactly. I didn't like seeing it either. They preferred their son, button up in a dress shirt and tie each day, formality encasing the overachiever who constantly performed above and beyond his means. And boy, what a performance it was! The constant fixation on grades and numbers that followed this son her entire life, growing into a complex that forever changed her self-worth. I believed I would be undone by the act. But I was an excellent performer, so the show went on. The kaleidoscope remained contained, limited to late-night gazing sessions lasting until they became passing daydreams. Mostly. Sometimes the kaleidoscope would leak. I still remember the first times I painted my nails, getting tested during the pandemic, and getting complimented for my Sally Hansen instant dry that I felt paranoid for purchasing, eyes darting around the beauty section. Vindication. Jubilation. I began to enjoy towing the lines. Having my first seizure was like cracking the kaleidoscope, letting the glitter ooze out like yolks and whites to the fry pan. My epilepsy brought me to moments where I felt closer to death than I ever had been before. I lost belief, believing that whatever higher power I sought solace in previously had it out for me, that they were seeking to punish me for something I did wrong. Only I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, and I knew this because the kaleidoscope had gone so sunny side up, and staring at it laid flat made me finally begin to understand. If I could have died without this, died without accepting this color, this joy I kept bottled away in a tube, then I was sure as hell not going to die with it now. I couldn't keep performing for others forever. My eyes could be the window to my soul, but that hazy blue veneer is just its outer shell. My soul will be a new kaleidoscope, my body the housing, and I'll make them all look